Start the morning right with a cup of Vinyl Tap. Nothing beats the refreshing taste of a hot, warm mug of Vinyl Tap. Enjoy your podcast in liquid form today. Vinyl Tap. Enjoy responsibly.
Vinyl Tap.
I'm Jason. So, what was this month's theme? Andrew?
This month we actually had the theme of siblings' choice. So fortunately we all have siblings, or else
We do.
would have been a
That
short
would not have
episode.
worked out.
Oh. No. So, you have one sibling.
Yes.
You have one sibling.
Yes.
I have one sibling. Tim, you have three siblings. How did you get one sibling? Did all three decide? How did your siblings
I
choose
just
this?
asked the youngest one of them because I don't see him up and honest. I just wanted to message him, really. Yeah. And I knew that he had the most outlandish musical tastes, I think. And I was expecting something probably more outlandish than John Frusciante. But yeah, that's what he gave me and I went with it. So there you go.
Wonderful. Does anyone know why their sibling chose the album that they chose?
I feel like the eyes are on me. my brother actually chose the Disney Skate Adventure. It's a game we played growing up, and for some reason we listened to it a lot as a soundtrack. And analysing it, it might be a questionable choice of something that we listen to quite as regularly as we do.
It's fresh.
But yeah, so that is the reason behind why we ended on Disney Skate from my brother.
Do you know why Paris chose what she did?
Not really, but also it completely fits her
I
character.
was not surprised by
yeah.
the choice in the slightest.
Like her whole musical taste is bizarre and wonderful and out there. And so I think she's told me about Thundercat before, actually. But I just haven't listened to it yet until
That fateful day.
that fateful day.
Yeah, wonderful. Everyone's looking at me. Lucas chose Milky Chance because it's just an act that he really likes at the moment. There was a few within that kind
Well,
of...
sorry, Lucas.
We've already spoken about it. It's fine. Yeah, there was a few that I know he was tossing up within that kind of like a Triple J realm of things.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure why he chose Milky Chance over
I
some
think
of the other
popular
acts.
with.
They're like pretty big. Like they tend to like play with Tash Sultana and stuff a fair bit, I think. And I think he said he chose it because he thought it was better as an album, whereas some of the other ones weren't as good like as an album.
Right. Like
But
one hit
that's-
wonder kind of deals.
Yeah, it wasn't like there were like one or two songs that were good. He said that he thought across the album it was pretty consistent, which it was.
Yeah. So who won?
Who won this round of Vinyl Tap?
I don't. Well, I mean, I do. I think it's pretty obvious where my vote's going to go to Thundercat.
Yeah.
My vote does not.
Well, let's see it. Where do you think yours goes to?
Okay, I think for different occasions, different things. I reckon, like we discussed when we were listening to the Milky Chance, if you're not analysing that, that's a really easy listening album for a background music. So for background music, that definitely gets my vote. And for nostalgia and enjoyment, Disney Skate retains my vote for now and always. Devotion to Disney Skate is my life.
Yeah. Right.
So if you had to pick one of those two,
Which one's better?
Well, who would you die for? Would you die for Disney?
Which hill would you die on?
I'd die for Disney.
Yeah.
For Disney Skate, not for current Disney.
Oh, of course.
Important.
That's an important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim?
Thundercat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you want to go on a trip, like Frusciante, probably, I'd say. Like, it's more of an experience. Like, it takes you somewhere and back. But Thundercat is just like, it's all over the place. But it's meant to be. And it's interesting from end to end, I think. And that's what appealed to me about it.
Maybe.
Yeah, I've been listening to Thundercat in the car a bit. I actually find it a bit distracting to drive with, to be honest.
I completely understand
Yeah,
that.
because it's
Really?
and I have to concede a point here, which is it was a little bit distracting because it was just so
busy.
yeah. But like when I'm in the house doing shit, I can put it on and it's fine. It doesn't distract me at all. But when I'm driving, in particular, I want to rear end people often. Just because it's so
Give them a
like,
light nudge.
yeah, just a light nudge. It's
Have you
just
heard Thundercat?
like, smashing the back mirror and
Dragon Ball Durag!
yeah. But I've been checking. He's an interesting dude. I've been checking out some
Yeah,
interviews and stuff.
I haven't seen any interviews. I've definitely been listening to it.
He's really, really interesting. Just as a speaker.
I was going to say, I don't think we really agreed with Tim on the video game music in the episode that we spoke about it. But listening to it again, I can hear what Tim was talking about in terms of there's a lot of like video game.
Well, Dragon Ball Durag, for example, has Dragon Ball sounds in it, I'm pretty sure.
I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, like just little moments in percussion where it's like, what's the Nimbus Cloud? It's like, whoosh,
Oh yeah.
has like that come into it
Sick.
a couple of times. Yeah. So.
So is your vote still to Thundercat?
Oh, no,
with
100%.
all that? Okay.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Is there anything else we were going to look up or chat about, or that we've reflected on? I personally can't say I've listened to any Disney songs since the episode.
So I still have been listening to them with my brother, but now we skip certain songs quite often. Little Romeo is constantly skipped, and
How dare.
wow. It's really cringeworthy to listen to. Before actually in-depthly listening to that, I just thought it was part of one of the tracks, and it sort of glazed past and never really focused on it. Now I can't get it out of my head. Some little rapper dude that's like 8.
Oh, no.
He's, what is he,
I think
14
it was
when he's
11.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty bad though. It's a massive chain. No.
I think that's hilarious, and I think that the problematic part of that song is the 40-year-old
Lil D.
Yeah, who called himself Lil D. Just want to remind everyone of that. He chose that. This is an adult who chose the name Lil D. I think that's the problem of the song. Like, I think the kid doing it, he's doing a great job.
Yeah,
But the adult is pretty crap. And,
Do you reckon
and it's
that-
not good?
Do you reckon the chain is plastic?
I
Like,
really
because
hope
otherwise
it
it'll
is.
be too heavy
Aw.
for his...
What? I don't
For his
know.
little boy neck.
I'm sorry, Little Romeo.
No, otherwise, I still enjoy the mix of music on that album, from Simple Plan to Smash Mouth, like that side of things.
Have you played the game again?
No, I haven't. We haven't got the PlayStation 2 plugged in at the moment. It's sitting next to the
Okay.
TV, but
I'd still like to know whether the music changes depending on like what area of the map you're in.
I will get onto it.
So we can do a second channel video where we play the game.
I guess we can do
Because you have the
that.
lyrics and sing along too. So.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
What about anyone listen to John Frusciante's album at all since?
No.
No, guess that hasn't left like a lasting like. I remember the experience of it. I don't actually remember any songs.
Yeah, I was going
Yeah.
to say,
Yeah.
without listening to it, it didn't make me want to go back and go, oh, I need to listen to this and figure it out more. And I can't say there's anything in my head that I'm like, oh, that's what that sounded like.
All I remember is the structure of the album and the religious side to it, and thinking that it was like a Bible where he had like a heaven section, he had the after death section, and just trying to be a bit deeper than what his songs carried across, I guess, with his raspy voice and his sort of like quite grating sounds. That was my lasting impression. Is not that great.
Right. And what about Milky Chance? Has anyone gone and put that on while they've done other things? Because I haven't.
No, I haven't either.
So, okay, we have a clear one that we think is the best. Which one do we think was the worst for this month?
Ooh.
In terms of getting through it for the listening of this show, a Milky Chance's Blossom, I think. I think I had the roughest time with that. I jammed out to Thundercat every step of the way. Frusciante had me in some way or another. He was interesting me. And then how could I not party to Disney Skate Adventure?
Yeah.
It's a party.
I would agree with that. The Blossom was sort of.
It was fine.
It was fine, but as a extended listening, just sitting down, going through the whole thing, it was too
much of the same thing.
Too much of the same thing to keep sustained listening.
That's probably not what the album's made for, so it's it's kind of our fault.
Yeah.
This common theme that we're coming through with
Yes.
this is
Albums aren't supposed to be treated
listened.
like this. Except some of them are.
Yeah.
Well, then what's the point of an album? Do you think the album is outdated then? The idea
concept
of
of
the
an
concept of an
album.
album.
Don't get him started.
That's a tough question. I think at this point in time, you could have a successful career releasing just singles because of the way streaming works. I don't think you have to have albums. And in a lot of ways, unless there's a specific reason that you want an album, it probably doesn't make sense to spend the time and effort and money to make an album. And you're better off like doing a single or a couple of songs together and releasing them more consistently than having like big hiatuses between releases. Is my take on it. But
I
there's
agree.
still a definite, you know.
I reckon the only saving grace at the moment could be the revival of vinyl, where people actually sit down and listen to an album in their entirety, more because they buy the vinyl for the aesthetic as well. And then, you know, you sit down and listen to the whole thing because, you know, skipping tracks on vinyl is...
Not a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible, it's just very hard.
Yeah, exactly though. So I'm wondering whether, you know, this vinyl revival we're having at the moment, where people are actually investing more money into vinyl systems again, and you can buy actually good quality things, and you know the vinyl they're pumping out of Germany is good quality. Will we see that sort of return for some artists that sort of focus on that medium to proper curated?
I mean, the curated things still exist though. They don't not exist. It's not as much of a thought for everyone. It's
I'm interested by this.
There is still a place for albums as a whole and having a start to end story or experience. It's just not as, like, you're not forced into making an album like you used to be. People have the option where they can go, well, I don't have 12 tracks, 10 tracks that I think collectively go together and tell a story. I've got this, and they're just not connected ideas. But there are definitely people who still have...
This is really interesting because albums started, I mean pop albums I guess, because, you know, records existed before pop music.
Yeah.
But like the original pop albums, like there was no concept, it was just a bunch of songs we had.
Yeah.
So are we returning to, like, have we come full circle?
Well, not quite, because you don't release them all on the one thing anymore.
No.
I mean, you can.
You could.
And people do.
And that's what I think the future of the album is for the most part, is just a collection of the other shit I've released. Like,
yeah, probably.
Compilation albums will become most albums.
Probably.
No.
Who knows where the industry is going to move towards. Anyway, anyone have any final summary thoughts?
Vinyl.
Violence?
Some
Some
final
final thoughts.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Do you feel like, so the people sitting here in this room, could you tell what their sibling is like through the music that they chose? Did you get like a taste of character? Did it make sense? From what from what I know of you guys, I would say that I think the albums that were picked by your siblings kind of fit what I know.
Yeah, I would say
About,
for the
like,
most
you guys
part, yes.
specifically.
I'd agree.
Yeah, like I said, no surprises from what Paris picked or Daniel. And Jordan, he could have picked a range of different things and it probably wouldn't have surprised me.
Yeah.
Also, another thing that I haven't pointed out that I had a thought of was all of your siblings are musical in some way and my sibling isn't. Which is interesting to think about.
I feel like that would lend more to the choice of my siblings' pick
Yeah,
than anything else.